We are living in a time whereby there's lots of entanglement. If we look at the news today, we will find that people are constantly talking about how to find hope.
So I actually explored quite a lot, and I came across Humanistic Buddhism. It offered me a way of looking at the world which is a little bit more realistic, a bit more kind, compassionate.
What I find in the values of Humanistic Buddhism is ultimately our humanity, what it is that holds us together as people, and our humanity.
We support them in developing the values of Humanistic Buddhism. They use those in their everyday life.
人间佛教的部分是最适合于我们这个时代的大家。
So what I hope is that HBC will be able to carry on the Venerable Master Hsing Yun's wish to wake up the world, enlighten sentient beings, and then create a pure land on earth.
This is a record of Buddhist kingdoms of a very special Chinese pilgrim by the name of Fa Xian. And he made a treacherous journey from China to India and all the way around. The Dharma is accessible to us today because of the hard work. And I think of us in the HBC as being the same. We've spent 10 years building up the foundations of Humanistic Buddhism in Western academic discourse. We are now ready to meet the world so that we can continue to refine the Humanistic Buddhism of Venerable Master Hsing Yun and make that accessible to the world.
佛教从开始流传到现在，已经2000多年了。佛光山星云大师发现，真正的人间佛教才是佛陀他的本怀，也就是说，人间佛教才是佛陀他所要带给我们这个世界的佛法。
The Humanistic Buddhism Centre is housed in the Nan Tien Institute. And as such, we conduct our research with academic rigor, and we focus on allowing for contemplation, especially in such troubled times, and focus on service to the world.
Venerable Master Hsing Yun has described Humanistic Buddhism in a very succinct way. It is what the Buddha taught. It is what is needed by people, what is true and beautiful, and what is purifying. So I guess in the Humanistic Buddhism Centre, we try to find out what people need and also to meet them where they are.
I really revere the vision of Master Hsing Yun of having the foundation as well as the institute, the vision to see that flourish. And I think it is something important that can guide our society.
HBC is very important in bringing out ancient wisdom of Buddhism and how this ancient wisdom is applied to navigate global issues and problems right now.
What I find in HBC, what I find in Nan Tien, what I find in Buddhism is what works in the society. It's those same values of compassion and of care. It's being there, it's doing something real with people.
And I hope that all of us at HBC can be the custodian of that caring society. I believe the Venerable Master, he has shown with his life that missions impossible are always possible as long as we have the Dharma.
So here is the book of the Humanistic Buddhism Centre's first 10 years. It was an aspiration of a tiny center, but I think 10 years from now, we have reached some pretty good, impactful projects.
We do projects like Buddhism in the Sea of Islands. And by Sea of Islands, we mean Australia, New Zealand, the Pacific Islands, all the way to Hawaii.
And in this project, we try to position humanistic Buddhism in academic discourse and to invite more academic interests in the subject of humanistic Buddhism.
And also the Buddhism in Australia project, which is the first of its kind in Australia, to use a nationwide survey, to do field work in order to capture the history and the present, the development of Buddhism here in this lucky nation.
It's a collaborative project we are doing with Deakin University, Western Sydney University, and Charles Darwin University, sponsored by Hsing Yun Education Foundation.
We're building this digital atlas of Buddhism in Australia so that everyone can see this and watch it and enjoy it. But also we're really hoping that we can link this to the Australian curriculum so that every young Australian can learn more about this rich history.
We also have the Humanistic Buddhism Special Interest Group, which meets 3 times a year, bringing together scholars and students who are interested to look at the academic side of humanistic Buddhism.
Besides the regular Humanistic Buddhism Special Interest Groups, we have also co-organized academic conferences, such as the 8th International Symposium on Humanistic Buddhism in 2021, and what I believe to be the first 24-hour relay in the world. That was in the 2024 Humanistic Buddhism Colloquium on Compassionate Futures.
When we started the graduate certificate in Humanistic Buddhism here in Nan Tien Institute, we also started the parallel development of a journal called the Studies on Humanistic Buddhism in order to create the resources for our students.
I couldn't not mention the really critical role that HBC played very early on in NTI's life. They played a really important role in developing those resources. It's getting scholarly work, translations, and documentation out to a much wider audience, and in a way that brings with it academic credibility and rigor, which is so important as well.
And thanks to Michael, we've got this beautiful array of journals.
We also have done a series of publications ourselves. In 2024, we published Cultivating Compassion, Going Beyond Crises, that derived from the 8th International Symposium on Humanistic Buddhism.
The idea of producing a book on compassion seemed to be very important because it is particularly trying to bring Buddhism to the English-speaking world. And compassion is at the absolute center of this.
We called out the best articles from about 30 authors to publish this book. And this book, I believe, is timeless. It takes the wisdom and the compassion of the Venerable Master. And this is the reason why on the cover of the book is the Chinese character Xin, which means heart, mind. And it is the heart and the mind of the Venerable Master that has touched our hearts as well.
Here, we are trying to build assets for people to use even when they are not at the center, even when they are not with the community in person. So this would be things like the NTI reader, the NTI visualizer and bibliography that people could go to and mine knowledge and wisdom in Buddhism.
Also recently, we're experimenting with building a chatbot using generative AI, but only looking at this reliable bibliography.
Nan Tien Institute has progressed in terms of with the technology as well. That in itself speaks a lot about how well connected the Institute is with the changing trends and people and the community.
We ourselves being out doing community outreach through weekly Sunday check-ins, also in communities of practice, and now moving on to the metaverses. We hope to be able to reach the world, to have built these communities of loving kindness as well as encouraging a culture of care with the rigor of academics. Many volunteers started with me on the Buddha's Birthday Education Project, where we take research and convert them into multimedia resources for the world to know about the Buddha's birthday and the significance of the Buddha and his Dharma. So we've built a range of multimedia assets, including the Mindful Check-in app that today I know have touched many people's lives.
The Communities of Practice meets every Sunday. We meet for half an hour. It's a safe, welcoming space. We go through both the theory and practice of humanistic Buddhism. Everyone's invited to bring their experiences, and we hope that they take the applications back to their families, back to their lives, and back to their workplaces.
The Sunday check-in sessions and the community of practice that's come out of that has built a very strong and international group of people who have had the opportunity to learn not just more about NTI, but more about the works of the Venerable Master.
It was a decade of scholarship and engagement.
And I find that that's so beautiful. It's so beautiful to be able to open the doors of humanistic Buddhism in ways beyond the original setup.
So I'd like to express my gratitude for these 10 years that I've been involved at the Humanistic Buddhism Centre. It's been 10 years of learning, of transformation, and most importantly, of friendships and of community.
What I've found in my work life and my aged life, I find is so much enriched by what humanistic Buddhism represents in terms of its values, in terms of its care and compassion.
I'm a Catholic. Since I joined Fok Wang Shan and I studied in NTI, I am now giving Dharma talks. And so, to me, I go beyond religion and just go for what the world needs at present. And I think Master Hsing Yun has that put all together in his 3 acts of goodness. So Venerable, thank you very much for everything that I've learned, both from the Humanistic Buddhism Centre of Australia here that you had, as well as our NTI classes. And in my work in the Philippines, I integrate what I learned to educate teachers who are educating small children. And therefore, we are already seeing the effects of strong moral consciousness through the 3 acts of goodness of Master Hsing Yun. And now, 3 acts of goodness is gaining grounds in the Philippine public school system. And it has been transforming children, as well as teachers, as well as parents, and in fact, communities together.
It has opened the door to people like Dr. Cecil Manikan. And as she innovates in the 3 acts of goodness schools, I believe there are shadows of Humanistic Buddhism Centre's work in there. And that gives me great hope, great joy, to know that the Venerable Master's wish for the Dharma to propagate through the 5 continents is really flowing through the Humanistic Buddhism Centre out to the world.
恭喜南天大学 人间佛教研究中心成立10年，生日快乐！
感谢大家的努力，让人间佛教的理念都在每个人的心中。
It is a milestone, but there are much more milestones to come. I feel very proud of being part of this.
I want to offer my blessings and support to the centre moving forward as well. From my role as president, I want to see this centre become really well known around Australia, but also wider in the wider world.
And wish them every success for the next 10 and more years into the future.
I can see HBC as the one leading the kind of thinking that the world needs right now.
And the whole idea behind it is benefiting the world. We just have to put the message out there, and together we will make progress. So do not fear.
Now, I know that those burnout, disconnection, and stress are always there, but remembering that I have the choice gives me so much more freedom and clarity. So Humanistic Buddhism does offer you that choice. And I think if that's something you're interested in, Humanistic Buddhism is something you should explore.
There's a statement that came from Mahatma Gandhi, which was, if you want to change the world, you've got to be that change. I think what we really can do is to create a culture of compassion around us, to live that culture just by being that way yourself. And I've seen that spread.
I wish that the Humanistic Buddhism Centre will continue to enrich itself with partnerships and will be able to reach out to many, many sentient beings.
佛教属于自救救人，自度度他，自利利人。佛教人我一如啊，共同一起来创造人间的美好啊。